Coming up next here on WTOL 11 News on Plus, a fire early Saturday morning destroys an East Toledo home. We had crews there this morning and have the latest details coming up. Plus, President Donald Trump is doubling down on his efforts to place tariffs around the globe. What the president is saying he's doing next in the wake of a major Supreme Court ruling. And are you looking for some advice on your next big project around the house? Well, experts in downtown Toledo are sharing some with us as the Home and Garden Show continues on this weekend. Thanks for joining us here on WTOL 11 News on Plus. I'm Steve. I want again for Michael Sandlin. Before we get to all of their top stories and more, we got to get a look at that forecast. So let's bring in meteorologist John Birchfield. John, I just want to put the winter coat away. So when can we do so?
Oh, not quite yet, Steve. We do have some wintry weather tomorrow, and you may even need the snow shovel with some very light accumulations possible. Now, compared to some of the snow that we've seen this winter, really nothing to write home about, with around 1 inch of accumulation for most. And there could be some very minor travel impacts expected. Now, there actually is a band of snow moving into central Ohio between Columbus and Mansfield. A few flurries could clip northwest Ohio, mainly south of the Maumee River. But the bigger story is the snow that's going to be wrapping in on the backside of this low, coming in from the UP of Michigan back towards northwest Ohio. Hour-by-hour forecast. Most are dry through the evening. These snow showers are going to be arriving before daybreak. Light snow is going to be possible throughout the day on Sunday with temperatures in the mid-30s. I'm going to break down the latest snowfall amounts. That'll be coming up in your full forecast. Steve.
All right, John, thanks. A house fire broke out this morning on the 400 block of Walden Avenue. That's in East Toledo. Officials say 5 people and a dog were inside when the fire broke out around 6 a.m. Everyone did make it out alive. Fire crews say 1 person suffered minor injuries and went to the hospital. Red Cross was on scene to help the 4 uninjured people. The roof collapsed about 2 hours into the fire and the home was destroyed shortly afterwards. Crews stayed on scene for several hours after that, and an excavator helped move debris, and Columbia Gas checked the area as a precaution. A 7-hour standoff ended overnight after police say a man pointed a gun at officers during a domestic violence call in Findlay. Police say they responded to a call shortly after 6 p.m. Friday night to a home on La Kinaweo Street where 52-year-old Michael Thompson allegedly assaulted his partner. When officers tried to question him, they say he pulled a handgun and aimed it at them. Officers pulled back, helped the victim get to safety, and called in the crisis management team. CMT officers treated the situation as a barricade. Police took Thompson into custody around 1 a.m. Saturday morning using a K-9 and tactical officers. He is facing charges of domestic violence and intimidation of a public servant. Deputies in Monroe County arrested a 26-year-old Toledo man for illegally carrying a concealed firearm early Saturday morning. According to a press release, police stopped the 26-year-old for a traffic stop at South Telegraph and Stein Road. During the stop, deputies found a 9mm handgun inside the vehicle. The incident remains under further investigation. President Donald Trump has announced he is increasing the global tariffs to 15%. Trump made the announcement on Truth Social earlier today. He originally imposed 10% global tariffs yesterday after the Supreme Court ruled his sweeping tariffs violated federal law. He enacted the new tariffs under a trade law. However, those can only be in place for 150 days unless Congress were to vote to extend them. Meanwhile, Trump called Justice Brett Kavanaugh his, quote, new hero in a different Truth Social post. Kavanaugh sided with Trump in Friday's ruling, while 2 of his appointees, Justices Amy Coney Barrett and Neil Gorsuch, ruled against the president. A former Lenawee County youth soccer coach will now be spending more than 20 years behind bars. 39-year-old Andrew Olnhausen was sentenced yesterday after being convicted last year on multiple felony counts, including criminal sexual conduct. According to Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel, Olnhausen had an abusive sexual relationship with a soccer player dating back to 2016 when the victim was 12 years old. The abuse continued until the victim was 16. Along with the prison time, Olnhausen will have to register as a sex offender for the rest of his life. Well, testimony is set to continue on Tuesday in the Dale Warner murder trial. He is right now accused of murdering his wife, Dee Warner. Week 2 was jam-packed with testimony and revealing details, some for the very first time. A former employee of the Warners took the stand yesterday, identifying areas of the farm and reviewed security footage of Dale. Focus was on tools that Dale was holding in the footage and the anhydrous tanks. In August of 2024, Dee Warner's body was recovered in a tank on the Warner property. Now, we talked with a legal expert on WTOL WTOL 11 Plus about how exactly the prosecution decides to present the evidence to the jury.
This is a very complicated case, and so it's circumstantial. They're trying to build the building blocks so the jury can see a complete picture, or as complete as possible, of what occurred. They are a collective recollection. The jury itself will recall among themselves what is important and what is not. And so as a prosecutor, you want to lay that out as logically as possible you can. Again, the law is nothing but common sense made difficult. You need to make it as commonsensical as you possibly can.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're good at that, and sometimes you're less good at it. Depends on the day.
You can see the full in-depth legal analysis from former prosecuting attorney and former judge Gary Byers, and take a look at what's next in the trial as we head into week 3. You can do that right now on WTOL 11 Plus, and you can also download it on your TV and watch for free. Well, Toledo is remembering one of the city's finest today. Saturday marks 19 years since Toledo Police Detective Keith Dressel was shot and killed in the line of duty. He and 2 other detectives were on patrol in North Toledo back in 2007. Dressel stopped Robert Job, who was 15 years old at the time. Job ended up shooting and killing Detective Dressel. Job was up for parole in December of 2024, but that was denied. Neighbors in Oregon are against a proposed data center that are speaking out right now after the city's law director confirmed Thursday that a controversial ordinance did indeed pass. That's a shift from the uncertainty about the February 9th vote, when it was unclear whether the 3-2 vote was enough to move the project forward. But the city's law director says it passed, meaning key deadlines for the project have been extended. However, those against the project believe the original ruling that the ordinance failed was indeed correct.
If they can't get everything they need in place before they're really even willing to commit any money, I really have questions about how serious they really are at this point.
We did, in fact, reach out to all 7 city council members and a representative for Capacity LLC, along with the mayor, to ask about the decision and what the extension means for the proposed data center project moving forward, and we are still waiting to hear back. The city of Toledo will soon be looking for a new director for its Department of Public Utilities. Doug Stevens is stepping down from the role for a new job in Wood County. He will become the new president of the Northwestern Water and Sewer District starting on March 16th. Stevens has worked for the city of Toledo for 24 years. Meanwhile, Deputy Director Pateka Bannister will become acting director of the department. Toledo Police has declared a West Toledo bar a public nuisance and placed them on a code enforcement response team list. Reporter Megan Hartnett has the details and what this all means.
One West Toledo bar has now been declared a public nuisance. O'Shea's Irish Pub has been declared a public nuisance and has also been placed on the Code Enforcement Response Team, or CERT, list. Toledo police say they have had at least 169 calls about O'Shea's and have had at least 79 reports filed there since January of 2023. City council members say a lot of the reports and comments that they've had about the bar are surrounding the noise levels, loud music, people fighting in the parking lots, and just a lot of disruptions throughout the night. So now police and the city is going to be watching the bar a little more closely. And if they have any more incidents, there is a possibility that the bar will have to close down for a year.
Well, hundreds of homeowners are getting a head start on spring projects this weekend. The Pro Home and Garden Show is back at the Glass City Center. More than 100 vendors are there, ready to showcase their services and connect with customers. Reporter Anthony DeFilippo shows us how the event brings local business together with homeowners who want to upgrade their spaces.
From kitchen remodels to backyard upgrades, homeowners filled the Glass City Center Saturday for the Pro Home and Garden Show. More than 100 vendors line the floor, giving visitors the chance to explore and ask questions face-to-face before starting their next big project.
It's a one-stop shop to meet with many contractors of the same type. So it's best to come and talk to everybody and not just focus on one person or one company and find the best fit for you.
The show has been a Toledo tradition for decades, drawing thousands each year and connecting consumers with local professionals from across the area. For Mike Fisher with Weaver Barnes Amish Outdoor Showcase, it's also about building relationships.
It keeps us coming back. It's a good chance to connect with our customers, meet new customers. We see a lot of familiar faces that we've built for before, and it's fun to hear how things are going with their project now that it's done and stuff.
Joe Chavis, who owns his own building and renovation company, says that asking the right questions is important to figuring out what a customer's plans are.
Process really begins with the relationship. Like, hey, how are you? What's going on? What do you like about the space? What do you don't like about the space? How do you use the space? What's your favorite color? You know, what do you like to eat? What do you like to drink? Where do you drink your coffee at? Because some people don't think about your coffee. It's like, I might have clients who drink their coffee while they're laying in their bathtub.
If you didn't make it out Saturday, the Pro Home and Garden Show continues Sunday at the Glass City Center starting at 10 a.m. Reporting from Toledo, Anthony DeFilippo, WTOL 11.
All right, thanks, Anthony. Downtown Pemberville welcomed a tequila and taco-filled grand opening today as Casa Rio opened its doors. Portraits of Mexican icons and cultural symbols greeted customers on their way inside. The husband and wife team behind the restaurant runs several different locations, but this is their first time in Pemberville. WTOL 11 spoke with the owners who say that recent economic ups and downs can make running a small business challenging, but community support helps them grow.
It's been challenging, and it's also been a little worrying, to invest and continue to grow, but the community and our regular customers from both of our other locations have encouraged us to move over here and pursue this venture. So we've been pretty blessed and happy to be here.
What's up, Carlos?
The owners say diners can expect a fusion menu of Mexican and American dishes, and starting today, Casa Rio is open 7 days a week. Well, today was not just a typical regular season finale for two area college basketball teams. In fact, it was their last regular season game ever. Lourdes University and Siena Heights University squared off in a women's and men's doubleheader earlier this afternoon. Lourdes announced earlier this month that it was closing down permanently at the end of the spring 26 semester, while Siena Heights announced in June of last year the same thing. We're going to have a full report coming up from reporter Dominic O'Neill tonight at 11 on WTOL 11. John?
Tracking some wintry weather moving in for the second half of the weekend. Light snow accumulations likely around 1 inch with minor travel impacts heading into your Sunday. Temperatures have been right around the freezing mark with cloudy and overcast skies. Most spots will stay dry this evening, but there could be a few flurries and light snow showers. Temperatures holding steady in the lower 30s. There actually are a few light snow showers moving through central Ohio, although the bulk of that snowfall is south of our area. Could be a few flurries that do clip northwest Ohio later this evening. With an area of low pressure over the Great Lakes, we're going to see some of those snow showers up towards northern Michigan drift in tonight and into Sunday. So the hour by hour does show mainly dry conditions through the evening. Those snow showers are going to be moving in from the northwest before daybreak Sunday morning. You are going to wake up to light snow. There could be a minor dusting early in the day, although by the afternoon, highs climb above freezing. So most of that snow is just going to be sticking on the grass and other elevated surfaces. I think the highest snowfall totals occur southeast of Toledo, especially closer to the lakeshore. Sandusky and Seneca counties down towards Wyandotte and Hancock counties could see closer to 2 inches, but for the metro, it's likely just to be a healthy coating to 1 inch. Temperatures above freezing in the afternoon will mean that most of those interstates and major roads are just going to be wet, not overly slippery, although still use caution, especially early in the day, as any untreated roadways could be a bit slick at times, and around 1 inch for the metro with isolated higher totals. That'll be possible south and east of the Maumee River. Temperatures do start off below freezing for your Sunday morning, and then into the afternoon, high temperatures only reaching the mid-30s. So a little bit above freezing, but still a very brisk, chilly feeling day for those weekend plans. The next 4 days, we do have another chance for some light snow Tuesday night, and we're going to be staying very chilly for at least the start of the week. Your extended weather forecast does bring us another system. Thursday is going to be one to watch with the chance for some rain and possibly even snow. Again, this week, very cold, late snow possible Tuesday. We're also keeping an eye on Thursday, as this is a day that has been trending a little bit colder, and some data does show accumulating snow. Right now, we do have rain snow chances, but if that trend continues, there could be some measurable snow moving through on Thursday. Friday and Saturday do provide a brief warm up with sunshine returning. Temperatures briefly spike to 50 degrees, although there is going to be a band of rain and snow with temperatures dropping late in the day, and early March likely to start chillier with temperatures dipping down into the 30s.